Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Josh Verdi and welcome to verdies.com. And today we are talking about the last 3-month strategy that you can use for your FRM part 1. If you're giving your FRM part 1 in May, this is a perfect strategy that you can actually utilize. And before we go ahead, this is a success testimonial from one of our candidate. His name is Yashoj and he is from Mumbai, India. Now you can go ahead, you can read this particular testimonial. You can pause the video and you can read it. Okay, that's really going to help you out as well. Okay, and these are the pricing and plans for our FRM part 1 courses. We've got a course for FRM part 1 in English, and we also have a batch for Hindi, or you can say English, right? So if you're looking out for a live online for May or August, this is the batch, and this is the pricing for that. And we also have all-in-one video package for English. The price is 14,000 Indian rupees. All right, and there's also a free sample course. You can check that out. Okay, so the very first thing that you need to follow is that you have to create a schedule or a planner. Now this is very, very crucial, guys. Having a schedule will give you a proper mindset, and it will give you that much needed discipline for the next 3 months, which is absolutely required at this point in time. Eventually stay on track and being focused in the next 3 months, which is absolutely essential, right? The second thing is that it gives you a structured approach. Absolutely crucial. You want to have a structured approach and not go here and there and get confused overall. When you create a timetable, make sure that it's a flexible timetable. Don't be so rigid or harsh on it. Okay, as an example, let's just say that on a Monday, now due to some work commitments, you do not have much of a time to focus on the study, right? So that's okay. Sometimes it may happen like that. So what you need to do is you need to cover that up on maybe on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. So by the time you reach to the weekend, okay, you should have completed your overall target. So that's the definition of being flexible, right? Maybe you achieve a weekly target, in between a few days you miss out for some reason, that's okay, but eventually your weekly target should be covered. All right, that's the entire purpose of having this planner. So create a flexible approach, a structured approach, stay on track, and you'll be disciplined for the next 3 months. And this is a perfect thing that you can do. And just to help you out in creating a planner, I have myself created the planner for you guys. You can download this from my Telegram channel, or also in the description box on YouTube as well. You can find that particular scheduler as an Excel file. Okay, here is just a sample scheduler that I've just created. As you can see, the date is today is 15th, and I believe that you might have already started your preparation and you've completed a whole lot of chapters, right? But let's just say it's 15th of Feb, and as you can see, the timetable for all these things up until the last day for this foundations of risk management, and that is going to be 17th of April. That is one thing, right? But even more important than that is how can you use this particular timetable? Well, as an example, you see here there is a chapter completion status, right? So you can go ahead and you can mark this as completed if you've already gone through the fundamentals of probability. And just 1 minute, when you go through the video, once you go through the book, you need to even practice the chapter wise questions. Only then you mark this as completed. Okay, if you've gone through the video, if you've gone through the material but you haven't practiced, just mark it as in progress or a pending. Okay, that's going to be very much needed. And once you complete it, solve the chapter wise questions, and what was your score, go ahead, write it down so that you can see visually what has been your score in each of these chapters, and whichever is a weak area, you can work upon that. Similarly, you need to do this for the entire 62 chapters. And then in this timetable, I've also given out as an example, you can take these 4 or 5 chapters, you can combine it as a block, and whatever you've studied in a week, you can take a weekly test for that as well. And again, the score for that, you can go ahead and you can write it down. And then you can even take the entire book. For example, once you're done with quants, you can take the entire book-wise test so that you can see where your scores are lagging in which book, so on and so forth, right? So the book-wise mini mock is going to be very helpful, and once you do that, mark it as yes and write down your score for that as well. So this particular timetable will help you out in your overall preparation. Now this is just a simple timeline that I've created just to demonstrate the fact, so that visually you see that, okay, how many days you need to allocate for each book, and so on and so forth, and eventually when you actually complete your overall portion. So it's just a visual representation for that. Now I'm assuming that you may have started your preparation already. You might have completed many of the chapters, few of the chapters, whatever the situation may be, but this is just a tentative plan. So assuming that you're starting from today, 15th of Feb, you're going to be spending roughly around 15 days to complete those 15 chapters that we have in quants. And then you move on from FMP, you take another 20 days to complete the entire FMP book. And then assuming that you start with VRM, you complete that, and by 7th of April you start with Foundations of Risk Management, and then eventually by 17th of April you can complete your entire FRM part 1 preparation. Roughly about 62 days that you can see in this particular timeline for those 62 chapters. And as I said, I'm assuming that you've done some of the chapters. If not, guys, you really need to buck up. Okay, you've got 3 months and we need to prepare. Now, once after 17th of April, the next thing that you should be doing is that you need to review and practice. Now, as I said and I explained in my timetable, that when you create a timetable, when you study something, you have to do chapter wise questions that's needed, as well as a weekly test or maybe a book wise test that is also needed, and start doing from the very beginning. Do not wait until the end to solve the questions or get a hang of solving the questions. Okay, and just one thing that I want to share is that from this year 2023, GARP has already provided to you 2 full-length mock exams that has been given by GARP itself. So this is an excellent opportunity. You've got 200 questions to practice. Getting the mock exams right from the institute, it helps you to understand the format of the questions, the language of the overall questions. Basically, it gives you a sense of confidence. And also, do not forget that time management is one thing that you really need to focus on when you practice these mock exams. A lot of people, they know the concepts very well, but they are not able to effectively manage the time. So these mock exams are actual simulation of the exams, right? So make sure that you practice it right, like just the exam environment. You sit for exactly like 4 hours and you complete it. And most importantly, if you're able to get on the CBT mode, that is going to be fantastic. Okay, so make sure that you practice this, or maybe even the chapter wise questions, the book wise questions, so on and so forth. Practice it on a CBT mode, because that's what the exam format is, right? And talking about the dates here, let's say that on 18th of April you start. Now definitely I would recommend that try to get your preparation done latest by 10th of April. Somehow or the other, manage the time from right till the 10th of April so that you are done and you've got a decent amount of time to focus on review and practice mode. Okay, so I've written out 18th here, but I would highly urge you to get your prep done by 10th of April. And how can you do that? Well, Saturdays and Sundays for a working professional, weekends are a bonus. So make sure that you utilize the time to the maximum potential of yourself. So let's just say that you start solving the mock, or maybe you go for a revision and simultaneously you're solving the mock exams and so on and so forth. So maybe on 18th or maybe on 19th you pick up your first mock, you analyze the mistakes, what went wrong, you understand the flaws and everything. And right after 2 to 3 days, once you analyze everything, once you reviewed the course, then you take on your second mock. And it's recommended that you take at least 4 to 5 mock exams. That really gives you the overall picture and kind of a comfort zone when it comes to question solving. Now let's just suppose that you've got 5th of May as your exam date. So right before, maybe like 2 or 3 days, do not go ahead and do not take any mock exams or practice too much questions. Okay, just focus on the revision aspect in the last 2 to 3 days before your exam. And one thing that I really want to share is this particular screenshot that I've taken from my WhatsApp. And as you can see, I asked one of my candidates, I'm based in India, and I asked one of my candidates in Namibia that would the candidate be available to attend the live class. And the candidate responded like this, that okay, I will make sure I start working extra early on just to attend the live classes. So this is the kind of, you know, the effort that people are making just to attend the live classes. And what the candidate said next was really inspiring. The candidate said, I will move mountains to pass this exams. This clearly shows the kind of determination the candidate has towards passing the FRM exam. So guys, it's really important that you also buck up and you increase your overall. So that's it for today, guys. I hope this video has been helpful to you. Download the scheduler from the description box or on my Telegram channel. Start studying from right today.